The top stories tonight in Y News. The military forces of the Philippines and the United States demonstrate joint defense of the country in case of invasion during the joint counter-landing exercise conducted in Balikatan 2024 in Laoag, Ilocos Norte.
The House of Representatives expects the Senate to support the rapid passage of the amendments to the RiceTarification Law after the President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. announced that he would certify the bill as urgent.
A House leader emphasized that the controversial religious group leader Apollo Kibuloy has no regard for the laws governing the Philippines.
And we will find out why former President of the United States, Donald Trump, has accused President Joe Biden of running a Gestapo administration following his multiple criminal prosecutions, which he claims to be politically motivated.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, the 6th of May, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Orlin Quijano.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Mavian Dob.
First in the news. The counter-landing live fire exercise was conducted today at the sand dunes of La Paz, Laoag City, Ilocos Norte, as part of this year's continuation of the Balikatan exercises between the soldiers of the United States and the Philippines. Ryan Lacanlale will tell us why.
Military forces of the Philippines and the United States demonstrated how they will jointly defend the country in case of foreign forces attempting to invade the Philippines. At the sand dunes in La Paz, Laoag City, Ilocos Norte, the counter-landing live fire exercise was carried out today, May 6. The scenario involved simulated invaders approaching the shoreline, so the soldiers attempted to block them. The 5 floating assets, resembling amphibious landing ships, were targeted consecutively by high-powered weapon systems before sinking. Using the 105mm and 155mm howitzer from the Philippine Army, Philippine Marines, and U.S. forces, Javelin anti-tank missiles, multi-role anti-armor anti-personnel weapon systems, and machine guns, the floating assets were quickly sunk.
We have an obligation to our countries to train together, to interoperate. So Balikatan has been, key maritime terrain, both the securing of that and the defense of that. It's been sea control, it's been maritime strike. So all those missions that are designed to deliver in accordance with the Mutual Defense Treaty, 72, coming up on 73 years old right now. We honor that. That means a lot to us. So protecting the Philippine sovereignty.
The United States clarified once again that the exercise was not conducted to send a message to other countries intending to invade the Philippines, but rather to further strengthen the military alliance between the two countries.
Again, we don't do this for any third party. We don't do this for messaging. We do this to create interoperability, to create readiness, to create integration on such capabilities as being able to command and control, sense the battle space, employ fires, move about, practice littoral mobility, multinodal littoral mobility, all those things that we've planned in this exercise. So there's no significance to this location.
According to the Philippine military, they are conducting the exercise to enhance their knowledge and capabilities in defending the country's citizens.
I think On our part of the AFP, we have improved intellectually and raised the level of competence of our soldiers and officers leading our armed forces. Certainly, there were improvements now compared to last year and the past 38 years. We have talked with our partner here, General Cederholm, how we would develop the next Balikatan exercises.
The Balikatan exercises between Filipino and American soldiers for this year will conclude on Friday, May 10. Ryan Lacanlale, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Congress and the Department of Agriculture plan to work together to lower the price of rice in July 2024. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives expects the Senate to support the rapid passage of the amendments to the RiceTarification Law or RTL after President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. announced that he would certify the bill as urgent. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
In July 2024, the goal is to reduce the price of rice to 29 pesos per kilogram. This was discussed during a meeting between officials from the Department of Agriculture and the House leadership Monday afternoon, May 6. This will be accomplished through amendments to the RiceTarification Law. The aim is to have this approved by the House before the MMDA adjournment on May 24.
Opo, gagawin po natin lahat. Yun po ang goal natin na aagahan natin yung pagbaba ng presyo ng bigas.
Dati, sir, nakatali yung kamay ng DA and NFA due to yung certain laws that we have existing. So, meron tayong pinababago sa batas at hopefully ma-pass ng Congress ito para mabigyan ng leeway na mag-intervene ng DA and NFA sa issue sa bigas.
The House of Representatives welcomed the statement from President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. that he will certify as urgent the proposed amendments to the RiceTarification Law or RTL. This specifically involves restoring the authority of the National Food Authority or NFA to sell affordable rice. President Marcos explained that the rising price of rice is due to traders competing with each other, driving up the process they pay for palay, which government has no control over. According to President Marcos, he is ready to certify the proposal as an urgent bill.
Kung magkaroon ng mga amendments sa NFA at sa RiceTarification, sa NFA Charter at saka sa RiceTarification Law, magagawa natin, makokontrol natin, meron tayong influence dun sa presyuhan, sa pagbili ng palay at sa pagbenta ng bigas. Yes, I think it justifies an urgent certification.
The House Leader and his colleagues are hoping that PBBM certification of the bill as urgent will also lead to its swift approval in the Senate.
We also urge our friends in the Senate to take the lead in the Senate to pass the similar amendments para mapaaga itong initiative.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. wants the return of the old school calendar as early as next school year to avoid cancellation of classes due to the extreme heat brought by the El Nino phenomenon. In an interview on the sidelines of the government-owned or controlled corporations or GOCCS Day in Pasay City on Monday, May 6th, President Marcos said he has already asked Vice President and Department of Education or DepEd Secretary Sara Duterte to provide a concrete plan on the shift to old school calendar.
Especially with the El Nino being what it is. Every day, you turn on the news, F2F classes are cancelled, F2F classes have been postponed, etc. So talagang kailangan na. So yes, that's part of the plan that we are trying to do to bring it back already to the old schedule. Yeah. I think it will be better for the kids.
And for the news abroad. Former President of the United States Donald Trump has accused President Joe Biden of running a Gestapo administration. In a private address to Republican donors on Saturday night, May 4, following his multiple criminal prosecutions, which he claims to be politically motivated. The charges on Trump include an ongoing hush money and fraud trial for falsifying business records to cover up a payment to a porn star, and other cases related to his efforts in overturning the 2020 U.S. election. Spokesman for the Democrat campaign, James Singer, referred to Trump's Nazi comparison as despicable and insulting, a celebration of political violence and a threat to democracy. Trump has called political opponents vermin and used violent imagery and racist comments in his 2024 campaign, and warned of possible political violence if he loses the election on November 5.
4 civilians were killed and several others were wounded in an Israeli airstrike in Maiz al-Jabal in South Lebanon. Lebanese national news agency reported that the strike occurred when some of the town's residents were inspecting the damage on their property from previous strikes. Maven Carizo will tell us why.
Since the war in Gaza started in October 2023, the southern Lebanon border village of Maiz al-Habal has suffered extensive damage from regular exchanges of fire between Israel and Hezbollah, the group backed by Iran. More than 250 members of Hezbollah and 75 civilians have been killed in Israeli strikes during the war. The group said on Sunday, May 5, it conducted no less than 10 attacks on Israeli military positions on surveillance gear close to the border. Israel, on the other hand, said 40 missiles have crossed into Israel territory, but no casualties were reported. Attempts by Western diplomats to broker a de-escalation in the border have so far been unsuccessful. Hezbollah is firm that it would stop targeting northern Israel with rockets with a ceasefire. Meanwhile, Israel warned that it could launch a war against Hezbollah in the northern border if the fighting continued, as well as target their military infrastructure in other parts of the South Lebanon border. 350 people comprised of Hezbollah fighters and allied groups, including 50 civilians, have been killed in Lebanon by Israeli strikes, while 12 Israeli soldiers and around 10 civilians were killed from strikes from Lebanon. Maven Carizo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
We'll share more global stories with you later.
For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The controversial religious group leader Apollo Kibuloy has no regard for the laws governing the Philippines, according to House Deputy Speaker J.J. Suarez. Meanwhile, some lawmakers support transfer of Kibuloy's trial from the Davao City Court to Pasig City. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Authorities have been searching for Apollo Kibuloy, the founder and leader of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, for several weeks. However, he has yet to be apprehended. He is facing charges of qualified human trafficking and child and sexual abuse. According to House Deputy Speaker J.J. Suarez, Quezon 2nd District Representative, this shows Kibuloy's disregard for the laws of the Philippines.
So I think the bigger question is, where is Pastor Apollo Kibuloy? Dahil isang pagpapakita po ito na unang-una hindi niya nire-respeto yung mga institusyon ng ating pamahalaan. Pinakikita niya rin na he has no disregard whatsoever when it comes to the laws that govern the Philippines.
Thus, the lawmaker has appealed to law enforcement agencies.
So this is also a gentle call out to our law enforcement agencies to please implement, look for him, and put him in proper custody so that we can fully progress into the legal proceedings when it comes to the cases that he is now facing.
Meanwhile, some members of Congress support the recommendation of the Office of the Court Administrator to the Supreme Court to transfer the hearing of Kibuloy's sexual and child abuse cases from Davao City to Pasig City. In addition, the Department of Justice is also requesting to transfer the cases in Davao City to another court in Quezon City.
So it is but proper to have a change of venue in the legal course of the proceeding para po makapag-expect tayo ng neutrality in the environment.
Ito po ay hindi dito lamang po sa kaso nangyayari. Nangyayari po talaga yan sa proseso po ng korte na pag sa tingin po ng batas magkakaroon ng whitewash or may impluwensya yung tao dun sa lugar, inaalaw po yung mga ganitong proseso, yung change of venue.
I think it's better for the case to be expeditiously decided on, free from intervention, undue intervention, interference, and to insulate the case from further creating atmosphere of uncertainty within Davao City, because dun po talaga yung heighten yung tension ng mga tao, kasi dun po yung bailiwick talaga ni Pastor Kibuloy.
Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Philippine National Police, or PNP, filed murder charges against 5 suspects in the killing of Police Captain Roland Moralde in Parang, Maguindanao on Thursday, May 2nd. PNP Public Information Office Chief Police Colonel Jean Fajardo said Moralde's remains were brought to Camp Crame last Sunday. Colonel Fajardo added that the PNP already filed murder charges against the suspects, including the 2 police master sergeants.
Nakapagsampa na po tayo ng kasong murder laban po doon sa mga suspects na may kinalaman nga po doon sa pagbaril at pagpatay nga po kay Captain Moralde, at 2 po dyan sa nakasuhan ay 2 pulis po. At kasalukuyan pa rin po silang nakadetine sa Maguindanao Municipal Police Station.
Investigation for administrative case of grave misconduct is still ongoing. Last May 2nd, Moralde and his men were on marketing chores inside the public market when he encountered a civilian brandishing a pistol. Displaying remarkable valor, Moralde confronted the armed individual. However, the confrontation escalated when the suspect, defying authority, opened fire on the police officer. In a moment of self-defense, Moralde responded, tragically resulting in the suspect's demise. In a retaliatory act, the suspect's 5 relatives, in a distressing turn of events, unleashed a fatal barrage of gunfire, claiming the life of Captain Moralde.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, apprehended illegally parked vehicles and cleared sidewalk vendors along Mabuhay lanes, which serves as an alternative route while EDSA Kamuning flyover is still under rehabilitation. JP Nunez details why.
To ensure a smooth flow of traffic in alternative routes due to the partial closure of EDSA Kamuning flyover, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, conducted a clearing operations earlier along Mabuhay lanes. Vehicles which are illegally parked were apprehended. Those attended with the drivers were given violation ticket, while unattended vehicles were towed. Based on the data of MMDA, 17 illegally parked vehicles were apprehended and given violation ticket, while 5 were towed.
Wala akong magawa, sir, Talagang ganun, Alam ko ng ordinansa, sir. May kaso lang, Nabutan ako. Bumili akong pisa,
Alam naman po, sir, inaisi lang namin. Wala akong manghuhuli, kaya yun. Kahit sakto ng palis na po kami, tapos yung ginawa, dumating po sila. Wala nang magagawa. Talagang may violation po kami.
Nakatwiran nila, maluwag naman yung karsada, pero hindi hindi dapat paunawa natin sa ating mga kababayan na yung karsada ginawa daan sa sakyan, yung bangketa ginawa daan ng taong bayan.
Among the violators is a woman driving a sports utility vehicle who threw the violation ticket while presenting her driver's license to MMDA strike force personnel. She even tried to get away with her violation. She was flagged down but she refused to park her SUV. At the end, the MMDA let them flee, but the agency will still give her sanction through the registered plate number of her car.
Papasok pa rin natin violation niya. Pag nag-renew siya na sa kanya at hindi niya tinubos, hindi siya makakakuha ng clearance, hindi siya makakarenew ng lisensya niya.
Meanwhile, aside for illegally parked vehicles, vendors on sidewalks were also cleared by the MMDA. The agency explained that due to sidewalk vendors, some motorists park on mabuhay lanes, but vendors insisted that they don't cause heavy traffic in the area.
Hindi naman po, kasi pag kumakain sila, umalis naman agad.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The amendment to the RiceTarification Law is now being worked in the House of Representatives, Committee on Agriculture and Food. According to some agriculture groups, this is timely for the well-being of consumers, especially farmers. Jed Neresina tells us why.
The 10 billion tariffs to be collected from the RiceTarification Law is expected to increase harvest and lower production costs to help farmers. According to Rosendo So, the chairman of SINAG, the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund or RCEP should be increased to 30 billion pesos to further help our farmers.
Yung 10 billion, kailangan i-adjust sa 30 billion dahil yung collection ng tariff natin umabot na ng 30 billion. So, dapat ipataas din yung ibibigay sa magsasaka.
He explained that because of this, the price of rice in the markets may decrease.
Yan, kung na-revise yan, may mabigyan ng ayuda yung mga magsasaka. Sa tingin natin, mas may chance ang bumaba yung presyo. Yung timing kasi pagbigay minsan delay, so yun ang problema natin. So dapat i-earmark ka agad yung 30 billion para at least immediately may bigay sa ating mga magsasaka.
In relation to this, the Federation of Free Farmers said it is time to amend the RiceTarification Law. Explained by Raul Montemayor, National Manager of FFF, it is no longer about the high price of rice, but the situation of our farmers should also be a concern.
Yan naman na yung parang current problem ngayon, mahal ang bigas. Pero tignan din yung mga ibang depekto ng batas, lalo na sa punto ng kapakanan ng mga magsasaka.
He said farmers have lost a lot because the RCEP is not enough to meet the needs of our farmers.
Doon sa first 4 years ng batas, ang estimate namin ang nalugi ng mga magsasaka ay almost 60 billion. Almost 10,000 pesos per hectare ang nalugi ng mga magsasaka kumpara doon sa presyo na natatanggap nila bago magkaroon ng RTL. Kaya yung sinasabi nilang namigay naman sila ng RCEP, mas malaki pa ang nalugi sa magsasaka kaysa yung natanggap nila sa RCEP. At hindi naman ganun ka-epektibo yung RCEP para sa kanila.
FFF described that RCEP funding is strict, so they are calling for flexibility to better meet the needs of rice farmers. Discussions are being done in the House of Representatives Committee on Agriculture and Food, so it is a good sign since the excessive entry of imported rice is one reason that our farmers are also affected.
It's a welcome development for us. Matagal na namin tinutulak yung pagre-review ng batas na yan dahil in the first 4 years of that law, maraming magsasaka ang napinsala ng batas na yan dahil sa sobra-sobrang pagpasok ng napakamurang imported rice.
The amendment to the RiceTarification Law will allow to address the challenges and limitations of the current law, protecting consumers and the farmers. Jed Neresina, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And in other global news, The Korea National Police Agency, or KNPA, has raised concerns over the increasing involvement of young individuals in illegal gambling activities. From 74 cases reported in 2022, the number escalated to 171 last year, marking a staggering increase of over 200%. According to reports, the average age of these youth participants is only 16 years old, a fact that deeply troubles the KNPA, given the illegality of gambling in the country, especially among minors. Cyber gambling, such as baccarat games and sports betting, is identified as the most prevalent form of illegal gambling among the youth, accounting for 84.8% of cases due to its rapid results. PC rooms are cited as the common venues where such gambling activities take place. Aside from the illegal gambling itself, these activities often result in violence among the youth and lead to borrowing money to sustain their illicit pursuits. Secondary crimes, including school violence, internet fraud, and proxy deposit schemes, stem from these gambling activities. Text messaging emerges as the primary method used to entice young individuals into gambling, along with online advertisements, social media ads, and even peer influence, blurring the lines between online gambling and harmless online gaming in the eyes of students. In the latest crackdown by the KNPA, 2 elementary students were apprehended, one of whom was a 9-year-old who placed a bet of 10,000 won, equivalent to over 400 pesos. These alarming instances underscore the urgent need for concerted efforts to address the issue of youth involvement in illegal gambling and its associated repercussions.
A study revealed a staggering statistic. In the year 2020 alone, approximately 72,800 children lost their parents due to drug overdose or gun violence in the United States. This figure represents a stark increase of 345% compared to the 16,000 recorded in 1999. Similarly, the number of children orphaned by gun violence in 2020 stood at 25,000 compared to 18,000 in 1999, marking a 39% increase over the 2 decades. However, it's noteworthy that other reasons for parental loss saw a mere 24% rise, as per research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Government data further highlights that the majority of cases occur among individuals in their mid-30s and 40s. The study recommends prioritizing efforts to combat drug overdose and firearm violence, especially among structurally marginalized groups, to address this concerning trend of parental loss among children in the United States. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe.
Several senators are in support of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s decision not to use water cannon against China in the West Philippine Sea. Senator Jinggoy Estrada, chairman of the Senate Committee on National Defense and Security, says the country must focus on protecting territorial and maritime interests by adhering to the rule of law and use of diplomatic channels. The lawmaker believes the position taken by the president demonstrates his dedication to upholding stability, diplomacy, and long-term interests of the country. Meanwhile, Senator Francis Tolentino calls the president's move as a pragmatic and responsible decision. However, Senate Minority Leader Aquilino Coco Pimentel finds the president's decision questionable. This as he asks why are so-called powers being brought in to involve themselves on the West Philippine Sea issue if the intention is to lower tensions. He also questioned the additional EDCA sites for American troops and the purchase of missiles and submarines instead of surface vessels.
In yesterday's culmination of the first round of elimination games in the UNTV Volleyball League Season 2 at the Paco Arena in Manila, the SSS Pension Protectors demonstrated their dominance, clinching victory in 3 consecutive sets against the DFA emissaries. Meanwhile, the AFP Lady Gunner triumphed in 3 straight sets against the Senate Lady Defenders. JP Nunez reports.
Ngayong linggo, mula sa Paco Arena, Nes Camacho with a point. Her first, kay Reyes, Kitoy. And Kitoy will get it. Arranientos chasing it down. Nice up para kay Reyes.
In the culmination of the first elimination round of the UNTV Volleyball League Season 2 at the Paco Arena in Manila yesterday, the SSS Pension Protectors secured a decisive victory, sweeping the DFA emissaries in 3 sets to 0. Marie Pascual of the Pension Protector showcased her skills delivering 10 powerful attacks and 4 service aces, earning her the title of the best player of the game. The match concluded with a score of 25-11, 25-21, and 25-20, solidifying the Pension Protector's position in 6th place with 3 wins and 4 losses, while the DFA emissaries remain in 8th place with 0 wins and 7 losses.
Motivation namin yung mga naging pagkatalo namin ng mga previous games namin usually yung sa mga teams na tipong alam namin na kaya namin pero natalo kami. Tinrabaho talaga namin lahat para makuha yung dalawang huling laro. Nawala yung yung setter namin. May sakit ngayon. Nag-shift kami, yung libero namin, naging setter namin ngayon. Kasi buti na lang din, nag-excel. Siguro, back to normal. Pag-aandaan namin yung mga katawan namin dahil nagkakasakit talaga lahat sila eh. Kaya yung iba wala rito eh. So, ayun, palalakasin namin yung immune system siguro ng mga bawat isa. Tapos, balik sa laro, sa training, pag-aandaan namin yung mga second round.
Rhea Marie Fosque. Good start. Yoko. That day, well.
In the second game, the AFP Lady Gunner dominated the court, overwhelming the Senate Lady Defenders in 3 straight sets. May Madulid of the Lady Gunner displayed exceptional performance, unleashing 9 devastating attacks, 1 block, and 3 service aces, earning her the best player of the title. The match ended with a score of 25-28. 25-13 and 25-21, positioning the Lady Gunner in second place with 6 wins and 1 loss, while the Lady Defenders hold 5th place with 3 wins and 4 losses.
Pinaganda namin yung mga imports nila sa practice, everyday practice namin. So, dapat walang nagre-relax. Yung open sa nila kasi ginandaan nila yung receive, set, saka yung attack nila. Same pa rin naman. Same sa mga katulad ng mga previous games namin.
Fans can anticipate more intense battles as the public servants gear up for the second elimination round of the UNTV Volleyball League Season 2 on Wednesday, May 8, 2024 at the Paco Arena in Manila. First up, the clash between the BFP Lady Firefighters and AFP Lady Gunner in Game 1 at noon will surely be a spectacle, following that the Comelec Suffragettes will face off against the PNP Lady Patrollers in Game 2 at 2 p.m. Catch all the action live on the UNTV News and Rescue channel and UNTV Sports YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more thrilling matches and exciting moments in the UNTV Volleyball League Season 2. JP Nunez, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Running attack. Yes. Here with it for again.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God. From the book of Proverbs chapter 8 verse 8, it says, "All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them." And those are the reasons behind the news May 6, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Mavian Dog, live from Australia.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Orlin Quijano, live from Toronto, Canada. We serve the people, we give glory to God.